What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Midland Made podcast. We are extremely excited to be here. This is actually a really cool project that I think all of us are very excited about starting. So, yeah.
Yeah, and today, since this is our first episode, we just wanted you guys to be able to meet the hosts. That's us. So what we're going to do is we're just going to introduce ourselves. We're going to do our major, our hometown, our grade, and any fun fact that not a lot of people know about us.
AJ, get us started.
Yeah, so I will get us started. My name is AJ. I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm a junior here, and I'm majoring in accounting and business intelligence and technology. And a fun fact that everybody might not know about me is I'm an ordained minister through the American Marriage Ministries. So I could do weddings only in Oklahoma, and I got it because my friends, they wanted to get married. So I thought I could marry you guys, and they let me.
That's a very
wow
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, I want to get forklift certified. I don't know. Just need a bunch of certifications.
CDL.
Yes.
Lily, go ahead.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Lily Falcone. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm a sophomore. I'm on the powerlifting team. Something that I don't think anybody would know about me is that when I go home, I do have a few chickens. So yes, I get farm fresh eggs,
Chickens?
which is really nice. That we don't have to go to the store and buy eggs. But
Wow.
All right. Well, I'm Brenna Mackling. I'm a sophomore from Gretna, Nebraska. I am a nursing major, and I'm on the volleyball team. I'm not super unique. Maybe something one thing that people might not know about me is I want to live on the farm when I'm older. I lived in Omaha, but I'm a farmer girl at heart, or country girl at heart.
All right, well, I'm Brody Arnold. I'm a sophomore from Kearney, Nebraska. I'm on the baseball team, and then I'm also involved with FBLA here at Midland. A little known fact that most people probably don't know about me is I'm actually a really, really, really big Star Wars nerd. I know a lot about Star Wars.
Okay.
Never seen any of them.
Wars.
What? You haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies?
I like Clone Wars.
Oh,
Those are my
that's
favorite.
it's a good pick. It's a solid pick. I like that. I like Return of the Jedi.
That's a good one, too.
Return of the Jedi
There you go.
is my favorite.
Yeah.
So.
So, Lily, what brought you to Midland?
Well, powerlifting actually brought me to Midland, and it's kind of crazy because I did not think that I was gonna be in Nebraska, let alone powerlifting in college. But Tim Anderson, the head powerlifting coach, he came to the state meet in Texas, and he got to talking with me. He saw my Instagram, and that's how a lot of powerlifters are recruited. And then I came up to tour, and I mean, Midland was the only application that I completely finished. So I'm glad that I knew I liked this because it was the only application that I really sent out, and I just fell in love. And so that's how I ended up here.
There you go. I was actually kind of the same way. I originally came here for swimming, and there weren't a lot of places to swim in Oklahoma where I'm from. So I was like, yeah, I'll go outside of the state. I'll look around. Came to Midland and fell in love. I only applied here. My mom was like, you should apply at some other places. And I was like, no, I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to come to Midland. And luckily I got accepted. My application came through and swam here.
For me, it was kind of a process. Just kind of recruiting with baseball it gets messy sometimes. Anybody that's gone through it kind of knows, and really for any sport, but baseball especially, just because you have pitchers and hitting. And in high school I did both, and so I was trying to, maybe I want to hit in high school, maybe I want to pitch. It was just process. But like I said, talked to a few different places. Midland recruited me. I went to a camp, like a showcase type thing, and they saw me there and got in contact with them, and then they invited me on a tour, and I came out here, and I loved it. I loved the community feel, and I loved all the people, and really felt like it was a good place to be taken care of. I think that's really true about Midland. I think all of us can kind of attest to that, and so I fell in love with that, and so I ended up here. That's how I came to Midland.
Nice.
My story is very similar with volleyball. Wanted to get recruited, reached out to multiple schools. Midland ended up being one of the ones to give me the most attention, show me that they wanted me the most out of all the other coaches I talked to. And then also I needed to find a school that had a nursing program that I could rely on and trust. And I've heard great things about the Midland University nursing program, so I decided to give it a shot. I didn't know my feelings going in, but now I really love it. I've gotten involved in a lot of different things, so I'm glad Midland was my choice.
Nice.
Yes. I love that. I love how just the different experiences in coming to college and we all just ended up here and just love it, and Midland's just amazing. So what are some orgs and clubs that we're involved in and our experience now as students here at Midland?
Midland does an excellent job of kind of just the different organizations for me. Obviously, so I'm double majoring in digital marketing and sports management, so both business related fields. Our FBLA chapter is amazing. Me and AJ, we're in that together.
Yeah, we are.
And it's a really great opportunity. You do a lot of different case studies. That's kind of the big thing that we do towards the end of the year for our state competition and then our national competitions is we have case studies, and those are really great because those are actually real world applicable experiences that people are going to experience in the business world. And that's kind of, it ranges from accounting to hospitality. Last year, I got 4th place in nationals in hospitality. It was the hospitality management.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that was really cool. And so, I mean, just something that was kind of unique. You don't even really think about doing that in business and stuff. And that's an option that's available through FBLA. I know AJ's first year in that. And
Yeah.
He's our accounting guy. We don't have very many accounting people in FBLA. We really don't. And so it was good that he joined because now we can actually have someone that's kind of well-rounded in that area. So that's really cool. But yeah, what other clubs?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, FBLAC, I just joined, so I'm new. I'm still figuring out what a case study is going to look like at nationals.
You'll do great.
Thank you. But we are doing some events around campus as well. We just did a coat drive with FBLAC, and then I think Wednesday, tomorrow, we're going to be doing cookie decorating. I don't want to call it a contest, but just an event to get people.
A social event.
Oh yeah, to get people to know about FBLAC. I invited a bunch of my friends. I was like, "You guys want a free cookie? Come decorate it." And then we'll be having a movie. So it's fun putting events on, stuff like that. We'll be baking cookies tonight. Yep. So that's gonna be fun. And honestly, FBLAC is great. I love being an admissions ambassador as well. All of us here are admissions ambassadors. Let's go. And I mean, we just get to give tours to prospective students. Honestly, it's great. I'll let these two, or maybe if they've got something else to talk about, I'll let them talk about ambassador a little bit. But it's so much fun on campus.
Being an ambassador gives us an opportunity to be involved in campus. Sorry, Brody.
No, you're good.
Involved on campus more than other students, I would say, and it gives us just an eye-opening to behind the scenes of what goes on a tour, what all the people that go into you as a prospective student, and just the effort that the admission staff gives to bringing students in. And then other than ambassadors, I'm part of the Student Nurse Association, so a complete opposite from you guys, but we kind of just go get together, talk about our school. We're able to rely on each other when it comes to all the different nursing things, and then we also have the opportunities to go out around the country and go to all these conventions and stuff, which is super fun.
That's
nice.
Yeah, I definitely just fall in love with being an ambassador each and every day, just because I remember when I came as a prospective student and I just felt so loved, and then I get to be a part of that now, and I know that you guys feel the same way.
Oh yeah.
But also with being an ambassador, I'm a part of crew, and I think that that's just another beautiful way of being behind the scenes of making the different topics for the Bible studies and putting together all of the grill outs and stuff like that, and just being able to walk with brothers and sisters in Christ is just so amazing.
Yes.
And I definitely know that all of our sports are just another family outside of our hometown and stuff, which I also love about Midland. So,
well, what I was gonna say before Brenna's so rude.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just messing with you. Little
excited.
VP of membership plug to all the listeners out there. Our FBLA chapter is actually one of the best in the nation. We got,
Woohoo.
There we
I don't
are.
remember if it was 4th or 6th. It was outstanding chapter, and that goes for all schools. So big D1 schools. I know like Iowa State got like 2nd or 3rd or something like that.
Wow.
And our goal is to beat them this year because Nebraska people don't like Iowa. So I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that was my little plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, another plug. As a sophomore, I am a RA, which is just involved with Res Life, which is also just like really sweet that like I get to help freshmen just adjust to college life, because I mean we all know that it's not the easiest thing in the world, being away from home, and then like having some students come from all across the country and like missing home and stuff like that, and just being able to be that person that they can go to is really sweet. And then being like behind the scenes, I know we just had like our Thanksgiving dinner last week, which was so fun, and so many people came, and the food was delicious. And so just being a part of that is really cool too, to be like involved in on campus, like preparing it before and then making sure that it's good for when they come home, like after all the breaks, is just really, really sweet, and I've really loved it too. So
Nice.
Yeah.
What was so obviously none of us here are freshmen, but what was like one thing that you guys struggled with last year in the dorms? Because where'd you guys live?
I lived in Gunderson.
Last
Gunderson
year,
Hall.
I lived in Miller. I was a sophomore.
Freshman.
My freshman year, I lived in
Yeah.
Beagle. Yeah,
Beagle.
yeah,
Let's go.
Beagle.
Let's go.
I was in Benton when it was all
Oh.
girls.
Oh.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I feel like, honestly, the hardest part is like adapting to college life, but I will say being around so many people, like sharing a house, for say, with 100 other kids is honestly really fun. And like you always have somebody to lean on, like especially your RAs too. Like if you aren't that close with your roommate or your hallmates, always just run over to your RA and they'll
Oh, yeah.
get you the help you need.
Yeah, for sure. I think the hardest part for me freshman year wasn't even really like living in a dorm, because I have 3 siblings, and so like I've always shared a room with somebody. So like it was just like, oh, that's no biggie. But I think my time management was like really hard to adjust to with like school and then ambassador and practice and stuff like that. That was
Sure.
like the hardest thing for me, is just to be like on top of that. But then the study hours that all athletes have to get, like that helped so much, just
I
because it
agree.
like created good habits from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I think my hardest part was my roommate was like never in the dorms. His family lived in Omaha, so like he would just go home all the time, and I was like, dude, is it me? Am I the problem? I was not. But I mean, again, it was still so much fun. Like there were all those other guys on my floor that I would just go hang out with, and we would go down to the basement and we'd cook something together. It would never turn out right because it was a whole bunch of guys trying to cook for the first time. But other than that, I mean, we had fun with it, and that's what was most important, and it was just a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be kind of crazy, but mine was like drinking water.
Oh,
I think like you don't have like a like source of water like right in your dorm room. And
no.
You just like it's just something that you're on the go all the time. You just like kind of forget to that and like eating food, like they kind of go hand in hand, I guess. But like
That's
I was just so
sad.
busy, and I was just no, I know.
No, I was eating a whole lot of food my freshman
It
year.
was just, I mean, I was, but it was just like you're adapting to college and you're adapting to all the homework, and just like for me, I was involved. I was in, I mean,
yeah.
obviously, I was an ambassador here, and then I joined FBLA too last year, and I was involved with FCA and all that sort of stuff last year. So I was so involved with everything, and I was just on the go constantly.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, baseball too. I mean, on top of all that. And so it was just a lot of like go, go, go. And you just kind of forget to like do those things sometimes. And like
Yeah.
just being in a dorm where it's not like right in your room. I think that it was just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds a little crazy, but like
Yeah.
you get so caught
Little
up
bit.
in just, yeah, you get so caught up in moving all and go on the go. It's just like, I don't know.
Need to relax.
I
Take a seat.
Yeah,
I
I do.
had like a gallon jug and then this little thing from Amazon, and it's like a spout. And you like you just put it on the top
That's
of the big
smart.
jug, and it's like a water fountain. And so
That
You're
is
still
smart.
struggling with drinking water. which
No,
I hope
I'm
you're
good now.
not.
I'm good now.
But
I'm good now. I got that. I got that taken care of. I got
that's good.
water bottle over
I'm
there.
glad.
I'm good now. But
I'm glad you're drinking water.
well, it's because we actually have a sink in our room now in Miller.
Well, there you
There you go.
I have, like,
Yeah.
the water filter thing.
You
I went and
have a
bought it like
spout.
first week. Dang.
Nice.
Now I'm drinking water. I'm good.
There you go.
Hydrated.
Hydrated.
Love that.
That's right.
And you guys were both ambassadors your freshman year?
Yes.
Were you also
Me
an
too.
ambassador? I was the
Yeah.
only one here who wasn't an ambassador my freshman year.
Yeah.
That's okay.
How did you guys?
Weirdo.
Well, yeah, okay.
Shout out Steph. Shout out Steph on the volleyball team. She reached out to a group chat of us freshmen coming in, and she was like, "Hey, I'm part of the ambassador team here at Midland. If you guys are interested, please fill out an application." And so me and Emily Shepard, shout out. We
Shout
were
out.
interested.
Shout out.
We were interested, so out of spite, we did it, and we had an interview that summer. So
Love.
then we got the job.
I love
Heck
that.
yeah.
Story ever since.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. I joined the summer like after my freshman year.
Yeah.
And it was like, because I didn't want to go home to Oklahoma. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was like, hey, I'll stay here. I'm having so much fun already. So I stayed over the summer. So technically I did my freshman year, but it was my freshman summer, not my.
It was in between.
Yeah. Half and half.
Yeah.
Well, I loved hearing about all of our freshman year experiences, but the thing that brings us back after freshman year is really what I think Midland can offer more than anything else. So what do you guys think that like makes Midland really unique?
Honestly, something that we touch on during tours too is how small of a community it is, which is a good thing though. Like we always say that you can walk across campus to a class and see somebody that you know every single time, and you'll always have somebody to talk to because it's just a smaller school, so you have those connections to everybody, and I think that's what makes it really special, for me at least.
Going off of that, I think that also what makes it really unique is that we have so many different people from all across the globe.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have so many people that are across the country, but then we also have international students, and I think like the opportunity for them to come here and be involved in their sport, but then also like even go to school, like a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and they always talk about like how blessed they feel to even come here and go to school and like be on the whatever sports team that they're in, and I just think that those testimonies are just so fantastic. But then also like personal experience being from Texas, like there's a lot of people that are from out of state, and so it's not just like I'm here with a bunch of like people from Fremont or Omaha, so it's like I can connect with those people to where it's like, hey, we all like are a little homesick, especially as freshmen. Like let's all just like band together and like lean on one another, and I think that just goes back to the community of like everybody just supports one another here, and that's one thing that like Midland really stood out to me on my tour is that I didn't see that at any other school. Like just like the support and community that Midland has for all students.
Yeah, no, one thing that kind of combining both of those things really, but because Midland is a much smaller school than most schools, just realistically it is. And it's interesting because we do have so many different states and countries represented that those stories really get kind of amplified, I think. I definitely think that like bigger schools, they have those international students, but sometimes I don't want to say they get lost in the shuffle because that's not necessarily true, but like you don't necessarily recognize that like when you're just walking across a big campus, but when you're at Midland, you met so-and-so in a class one time, you see him again and you can say hi to him and you recognize him and he's from the Czech. Like you can like you know that, and that's cool, and you can start asking questions about how he grew up and culture and just all that sort of different stuff. And so I like I said, I think that it's kind of interesting because those stories really get amplified.
It's safe to say that your story is heard at Midland.
Oh,
Whether you
yeah.
want it to be like, if you want it to be heard, it will be heard. But obviously, it's not gonna get out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like the one thing, even going on top of like all of that, academics wise, our professors are like some of the best. I mean, I've never been to any other university, right? But I think these are some of the best professors in every university ever. Like, I've got my accounting professor, John Moxness. He's great.
Shout out right now.
Literally, no, he's amazing. And he got shout out. He helped me get a job shadow my freshman year. Wow. Like it's like they want you to get involved on campus and even out in the real world. You're getting real world experience. And then even another one of professors, Hogemeyer, shout out Hogemeyer. He offered to teach me like a different way of accounting that like 1% of all accountants would ever use. He's like, hey, if you go work at this company, like I could teach you how they do their accounting. And he just offered to do that like one-on-one session with me. And it was, I don't know if I could get that anywhere else. It was amazing. So I think our professors are also a cut above the rest.
I agree.
And I think that just goes back to like having it be a personal level. Like
Yeah.
in those big schools, like back in Texas for Texas A&M, I have friends that are like literally in lectures that are like 300 plus
It's
people.
crazy.
And I'm
I
like,
can't even
I think
imagine.
my biggest class since being here was my marketing class, and it was like 60 people.
Yeah.
And like I got to know Nick really well, you know? And so it's like just having that personal connection, like what you were saying, like that one-on-one time, and like they want to see you be successful. And I think that that's like all of our professors here on campus.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, obviously, I think some of those that bigger school atmosphere, some people really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And that's definitely for some people. But I really think that that was another kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier in the podcast, talking about why we chose to come to Midland. Is I really liked that smaller kind of
Yeah. We got you.
vibes.
Well, yeah,
community.
the smaller community.
Yeah,
Community. That's a good word for it. I really liked just the feel of that, and really kind of, the professors, they care for you, and that's why it is a community, is because there are people that do genuinely care about you and genuinely do want to see you succeed. I mean, all the way from your athletic coaches to friends, advisors, I mean, RAs, like it's just all those people, they really care about you, and you really get that sense here that you might not get at a big school. Like kind of like AJ was saying, haven't really gone to a big school, so I don't know from personal experience necessarily, but just stories you hear from friends and all that sort of stuff. It's just, it really is different. And I think that that's super valuable for people if you are really looking for like a smaller community college. Like
I agree.
Midland is an excellent option for sure.
Yeah. I remember, and this is kind of going back to like prospective student, like how I came to Midland. When I came to tour, the day before my tour, I got to practice with the team, and they were having like a team bonding thing that night. And so they went ice skating at the Y, and they invited me. And I was like, sure, I'll come practice with these people that I don't know. And so, like, I literally went ice skating with everybody. Emma Hampton was so great. She graduated, but I just love her so much. I miss her. But she was, like, just coming with me and, like, just talking with me and getting to know me, which was just really, really sweet. And then on my tour the next day, I, like, saw the team, and what really stood out to me is that they were so outgoing and, like, saying hi to me. It's like this girl who they don't know if she's even committing yet. I did, obviously. But they were just really sweet and just so kind. And that was, like, the one thing that I really noticed about Nebraska is that people are just, like, so welcoming and so kind. So I always have to give Nebraska a little pat on the back of, like, welcoming people. But, yeah, that's, like, the unique part of my story is that, like, I was literally in the family before I'd even told them that I was coming here. And I think that's just Midland's personality as a campus.
Yeah. And Nebraska nice is a real thing. I didn't know that was a thing until I moved up here.
I'm from here and I don't even know that.
Really? No, Nebraska nice. They're like the nicest people ever in Nebraska, apparently.
No.
I didn't hear. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that till I came up here, and I was like, that is so true.
That's actually funny. I saw it popped up on my YouTube the other day. It was a video. It was during the UCLA game. It was a guy from California, which we lost. Anyway, but it was one of those things where he was like trying to like make people angry, and he's like, "Go UCLA, yada yada yada," and like all these Nebraska people are walking by and they're like shaking his hand and saying "good game," and he's like, "This is not like normal." He's like, "These people are so nice for no reason." It's just funny, but.
Isn't that such a great thing to be known for, though? Like,
I was going to say, that makes my heart happy.
Shout out Nebraska.
Shout out Nebraska.
Shout out.
So, yeah, obviously, kind of just talking about what makes Midland unique. I definitely feel, being here, this is my sophomore year, so haven't been here all 4 years yet, but it definitely is a unique experience. And for me, getting involved was really how I've kind of kept that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've kept meeting new people. And we talked about those different connections and those people from those different areas and stuff. And really just getting involved. FBLA has been awesome for that. But so is the baseball team. And baseball team, we have guys from California and Arizona and just all sorts of places all over the country. I know powerlifting is kind of the same way, that like very diverse team. And so just kind of what are some things that have kind of allowed you to stay in touch with that uniqueness and those different aspects that Midland offers that or make this place really cool?
Yeah, I would say staying involved. Like, there are so many opportunities here at Midland to stay involved, like the networking events, the sporting events, the arts events. So literally everything. I feel like if you take advantage of all those, it stays unique. Like, you don't just go into a reoccurring daily cycle where every day is the same. You can really make it unique in what you want out of your experience with going to all those events.
Yeah.
I would definitely say get outside your dorm, especially if you start to live off campus after your sophomore year. If you live off campus, go on campus like as often as possible. Go to those events. My Google Calendar is just full of events that I want to go to, or like the cookie decorating contest that we're running. You can also just host your own events. Like, that's the fun part. You can reserve the Miller Multimedia Room for anything at any time. You could like create a weekly watching of Dancing with the Stars, which I'm surprised isn't a thing.
I
would do
how is
that.
that not a thing?
I know.
do it in my own apartment.
Exactly.
Everybody come over.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree of just like being involved, staying involved, but also just like putting yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, yes, Midland does offer all of these things, but like Midland can only do so much for you. Like, you have to take the initiative of like putting yourself out there, going to the Back to Business Bash, going to the FBLAC events, like doing all these things. Like, you have to put in the work as well. And I think that just becomes evident with college is like, you do have to, like, your mom and dad aren't telling you to be on top of your homework or do your laundry. Like, you have to be your own person now. And I think that is a learning curve for a lot of students. But I mean, just some encouragement for all of our prospective students is that there are so many people that are going to support you. Like, you will not fail here. And that is evident just when you come on your tour. Like, we just highlight all of the resources here. And that's just what's so great about Midland too.
Yeah, no, that's funny that you mentioned that about the feeling like you can't fail here. Like, you have to try to, and that was definitely something that I felt on my visit when I came here close to 2 years ago now. But I guess probably kind of another thing building off of what you said, Lily, is especially with careers too. Midland does an excellent job of giving you opportunities to network and giving you opportunities to go out there and speak with different business professionals, and no matter what you decide to go into. And so that's something that they do it in some of your classes, but it also kind of falls on you too, where, you have to kind of advocate for yourself and you have to push yourself and try and find things that you really like. And Midland has those opportunities and they have those doors, waiting to open for you if you choose to take advantage of that. So definitely something that can kind of give you some unique opportunities, especially like for business. For me, kind of thinking with my marketing classes and stuff, is we have actual clients that we work with. We work with real people. And so those are definitely things that are just, waiting to be taken advantage of, where you can go out there and you can do a really great job on your project. And then there's an internship and there's a career, and there you go. So it's something, it's just interesting kind of how that works. And definitely something that you might not get at another college. So
I know, Brenna, you can talk a lot about like the networking for nursing, of just like being able to go to Omaha.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those hospitals.
So with the nursing program, we literally go out to so many different hospitals. I can only name like Lakeside, Emmanuel, Methodist Fremont, Methodist Women's, all these different places. And then like our senior year, we do a preceptorship. So that's where we pick where we want to stay for 8 weeks. We have no classes. We just go and work for free for 8 weeks. And then that kind of is so good with networking. So then I can kind of see where I will fit best, since I want to stay in Omaha too, or in Nebraska at least. Where will I want to go to? What hospital does my thoughts, my interests suit me best? or will I fit in here? Is this work environment good for me? So really just going to all these different places and like seeing the real world and seeing these real places really helps for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've been a little serious with flashbacks and memories, but let's do some rapid fire. Let's have these listeners get to know us a little better. Just some fun questions. So, are you guys morning people or night people?
Both.
Oh,
Is that
Yeah.
possible?
what? Yeah.
Depends on my mood. Like
Oh.
last night I wasn't tired, so I stayed up late and enjoyed it. And then I woke up early.
That's so true.
I don't know why?
That's
So like both at the same
Both at
time?
the same time.
So then when do you sleep? Do you take naps?
No. I can't nap.
What?
Fun fact. That should be my fun fact. I can't nap.
It's
I
so
physically
hard for
can't.
me to nap.
I'm so like schedule. Like I go to sleep between 12 and 1 like every single night, and I wake
Night
up
owl.
at like
Night owl.
I wake up at like 8 in the morning like every single day.
Is that early? Is
Like
that
7 to 8 hours of sleep is like I need that.
okay?
Yeah.
I
Sometimes I
would
nap too.
I would probably say I'm more of a night owl, but I could be a morning person if I had to be.
I am definitely a morning person just because I always just wake up early. Like it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I will always wake up at 7:30. It's
Wow.
kind of annoying sometimes.
Like,
because
do you
I'm
get
like-
upset at yourself if you sleep in, or like do
No,
you just
it's not
not
even
sleep
like
in?
I get upset. Like when I sleep in, it means I'm sick.
Oh.
Like literally on Friday, I slept in till 9:40. I had a 9 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'm not going to class because I'm sick. Because I always wake up at 7:30.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Wow.
Interesting. That's interesting.
So I could be a night owl too. Because last night I stayed up till 1 playing pool.
Playing
The
pool.
OSC.
There you go.
Nice.
I
Did you win?
still don't.
I won the first game. but
I don't know how to
lost the
play
next
pool.
two.
No, it's okay.
I don't know how to play pool at all. It's so bad.
It's fun.
What do you guys think is the most used app on your phone?
It's gonna have to be TikTok. I
TikTok.
think it's gonna
Oh
have to be
man.
TikTok.
Ooh.
I'm guilty of laying down and swiping on my free page.
That's so real.
That's interesting.
For me, I would have to say it's Spotify. I'm
Oh.
always listening to music.
Really?
Yes, Spotify. Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm an Apple Music person.
Really?
I am too.
This is brutal. It's heartbreaking.
I'm
this is
with you.
heartbreaking.
Don't worry, I
This
got
is
you. I
heartbreaking.
got you.
Yeah.
I'm a Spotify guy.
There we
I'm a
go.
Spotify guy. Probably Instagram for me. I don't really have many other social media platforms, so I'm
have
on
TikTok?
Instagram a lot. I used to. I don't have it anymore. I deleted it.
Wow.
Yeah.
a lot of courage.
Instagram is like the only social media app. I guess I have Snapchat too, but like Snapchat and Instagram are like the only two social media apps that I have right now. So, yeah.
I would say this is so like such an old person thing of me to do, but I call people all the time. So like, I
Oh.
would say call or messaging is like my most used, or photos,
Yeah.
because I have to video a lot of lifts and go through and edit and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Gotcha.
but yeah,
Use any like special editing apps?
I used to in high school, but now I mean they're just videos that I send to my coach
Oh.
for progression. So
Makes
I don't post
sense.
on
Makes
Instagram.
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
Jennifer Benavides, shout out Jen. She should
Shout
be
out.
on the
Shout out.
podcast.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I don't do any of that sort of stuff. I'm not like disciplined enough to post and keep people updated. I tried, and I made it like a week, and then I stopped. So
Kind of like you just said there. Who would be people that you would want on this podcast? Like, who would you personally want to interview for the Midland Made podcast?
Honestly, I love my volleyball coaches, so I would probably pick, honestly, either of them, Coach G or Micah Rhodes, because they both have so many funny sayings, and I want to know where they came from. Both have a unique coaching style, which is amazing. And they both have coached at high Division I schools, so I just kind of want to know what it was like. Like, they both coached at Nebraska, they both coached at Creighton, they both
Wow.
have a big background
Wow.
in volleyball, so I just want to
That's really
know
cool.
what that was like.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think if I were to pick anybody, I'd pick some professors because, like I was talking about,
Yeah.
Moxness, Hogemeyer. We get Nick Schreck on here, like you were talking about. Those are definitely people who like I want to ask them questions, get to know them. Especially Hogemeyer, he loves just talking shop.
Hogemeyer would do an excellent job.
Oh
on
yeah,
this podcast.
yes he would.
He would.
like I said, I think Jennifer Benavides would be great. Lauren Pimentel, just because she's just so wise and sweet, and I love her. But also some alum. I think
Ooh, that would be
Zoe. I'm gonna butcher her last name.
Zoe Carrico?
Carrico.
Yeah.
I just love her, and she's working in Omaha as a pediatric nurse, and so like seeing what life is like after graduation, I think would be great. And yeah, I think that some staff.
There's so many good options.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
really good
absolutely.
idea, actually, and
Great
taking
people.
just you could pick all sorts of people
Yeah.
and all sorts of different field experiences. You could choose, past like international students. You could
Yeah.
choose business students, nursing students, education. Like that would be that's really cool.
So exciting.
Yeah,
Wow. That's awesome.
Lots of prospective podcast people.
yeah. So if you're listening, reach out to us.
You could be on this
Find us.
podcast.
Could be you. One more.
Brody, who would you want on the
What would
podcast?
I want on the podcast? That's a good question. I would probably say a baseball player that would do really good is Xavier Salazar.
Oh, yeah. X would be
kill this.
awesome.
He would
He
kill
would.
this. And he's got some unique experiences and unique backgrounds, and he's kind of just the way he trains and stuff is like nobody
yeah.
else. And so
Yeah.
he would be really cool. He'd definitely bring some interesting stuff. I think Shrek would be interesting just because Shrek's got all the connections in the world, and so you could talk about just all that. And he went to Temple and Gonzaga, so
Oh,
yeah, I think he graduated from Gonzaga. I might be wrong. I was in his office the other day. And I was looking at his degrees, so I'm pretty sure. But so yeah, he could definitely provide some interesting insight into that, and then if he brings any of that over to a smaller school like this, just something like that. I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting to hear about. So
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
definitely.
All right, everybody. I think that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in on our first episode of the Midland Made podcast. We're excited to get started in January of 2025. So stay tuned for the first real episode. I'm Brenna.
I'm Brody.
I'm Lily.
And I'm AJ.
And
And this is Midland Made.